doesn't matter who you are, what you do, or what kind of dog you have, or even if you have a dog, Flyball is the sport for you. Welcome back, guys. It's Alex again for another Flyball and Friends interview. Today we're talking to someone from California. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, welcome Alex to the channel. I'm so glad that you could take time out of your day to be here. If you could introduce yourself for everyone here today.
Sure. So my name is Alex Lay. I play flyball here in Northern California, in Los Angeles, in the Silicon Valley area. And it's a relatively small region. We have a few flyball teams, but I basically have my own team, Fighting for Freedom Flyball, and it's a very small club. We compete here regionally, but I also compete competitively with Crazy Train in Arizona when we go out of state. And Colleen and the team on X Flyball have also adopted me. So I'm really lucky to have the opportunity to play flyball with them as well.
That's awesome. So how long have you been playing for, Alex?
So I've been playing flyball for a little over 9 years. It all started with a Labrador. I had a field Labrador. It was my first dog ever. And I came home one day and he had eaten the drywall. Like his crate was next to the wall and he had eaten like a giant hole in the drywall. And I was like, oh my God, we need to find something for him to do because he's obviously stressed out. Yeah. So we took a flyball class with a really large club here in the Bay Area, and it just stayed ever since. I just got stuck doing it. And you know, when I get into something, I kind of want to do the best that I can, and I get a little obsessive about it. So my partner makes fun of me all the time that it's now become like turned from a hobby to like a lifestyle, which I guess he's right. But yeah, I love it. I love flyball. I love the people that I've met and being able to work with my dogs.
For sure. So what do you do for a living?
So I am currently in portfolio and program management for a company here in Silicon Valley. I was working a lot with startups. I have a background in accounting and law, but I didn't want to really be a lawyer because it was really boring. So with Silicon Valley, you can kind of do a lot of different things. So I fell into just managing projects and large programs and portfolios.
Excellent, that's cool. So is there anything that you would recommend to someone starting out in flyball?
For someone starting out in flyball, I think a lot of the people that you've interviewed with have talked about finding the right team. I definitely recommend that. But I think the most important thing is to be your own dog's advocate. I don't think a lot of people touch on that. Flyball is definitely a team sport. You want to be with the right team, but at the same time, at the end of the day, it's a partnership between you and your dog. So you have to be able to speak up. You have to be able to know when your dog's tired. You have to be able to make sure that it's still fun for your dog. And being your dog's advocate means being able to make sure that your dog's getting equal time in the rings, that your dog's getting correct training. It might not be from the team that you're training with. It might mean you have to travel somewhere to go to a seminar. It might mean that you would have to do your own research, but definitely stand up and question if you don't think something's right. As a newbie, it's difficult to kind of stand back and say, hey, I don't understand this, right? But you have to stand up and you have to question the people that you're around and surround yourself with people who are able to make you successful, provide answers for you, and help you on the path that you're going with your dog.
Excellent. That's awesome. That's very well put. We've definitely not had that on the channel before, so thank you so much for saying that. All right, so when you first started, was there a most memorable dog that you've ever gotten to watch?
Okay, so I started flyball right when people were starting to hit really fast times. So I remember the first time I played flyball was with my team. And for the first 2 years, we were running, you know, like 20, 21 seconds. And then one time we hit 18 seconds and I was like, it's like so amazing. And then I went on the internet and I did some YouTube search and I was like, oh my God, Rocket Relay is running 15 seconds. What? And that was the first dog that I saw was on the Rocket Relay team. And I think that was a little hype dog. His name or her name is Shamu. And I couldn't really tell at the time because all I could hear Aaron saying was "Shamu" as the dog was running down. It was so fast. I was like, I really love that little dog, and I think that's what got me into running height dogs in general. I was just so impressed with Shamu. But it wasn't always just that one dog. I also watched X Flyball and their world record at Can-Am, and I was really impressed by Dragon at the Whippet. And as I got more into flyball and I met more people, right now I'm really impressed with Holly's dog, Sinjin, and that. So I don't know why I'm really drawn to these tiny little height dogs. So yeah, those are the dogs that I'm really impressed with.
That's cool. The little dogs matter. We got to make sure that we get their shining light on it.
Yep.
So at what age do you usually start your flyball training at?
So I usually start flyball training as soon as they get home. There's a lot of stuff that we do that's not flyball related. Actually, a lot of the flyball training doesn't even look like flyball, right?
Yeah.
We do a lot of foundational skills. We do a lot of criteria skills. We make sure that there's a lot of engagement skill. And something I've learned over the past 2 years playing flyball with Colleen and X is that relationship that you build with your dog is so important. When I first started flyball, I was just taught to teach my dog tasks, right? So recall to the tug, go over the jump, jump on the box. But now it's more about letting the dog trust what you're doing. So with my new border whippet, it's all about relationship building. So he's doing it because he really loves playing with me. He's not doing a task, right? And so a lot of the training that we do is as soon as he gets home, making sure that he's sociable with you, making sure that he's engaged with you, making sure he understands your criteria and things like that. And I think that makes training a lot easier in the long run.
For sure. That's a good way to put it. Now, how long does it usually take to train a flyball dog?
Good question. So the first flyball dog that I trained was almost like 2 years. The second one, my little Jack Russell Cooper, he was like tum 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 tum, and that was really fast. Took like a year. So I think the average is probably 2. I really don't rush training, so 2.5 years is what I see. Diego is 17 months now, and we're still seeing that he needs a few more months. So
For sure.
Yeah,
That's awesome. How often does your team practice?
okay, so I go to so many practices. My team practices every Saturday indoors on mats. A lot of the tournaments here in Region 16 are outdoors on grass. So in addition to our Saturday practice, we have an open practice that we open up to anyone within Northern California or whoever wants to come to flyball practice with us at a park outdoor on grass as well. So we actually practice twice a week. In addition to that, I also try to go down and practice with X. Just because I learn a lot from them and Colleen, it's so nice for Colleen to have us. And then I also run flyball class. So sometimes we have flyball class practice on Friday nights for my students.
That's awesome.
So that's a lot of flyball.
You're quite busy with flyball. I was just about to say that. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, do you do anything else at home to help with flyball?
Actually, the dogs get so much time during the weekends that I just let them rest. Again, mostly we focus on engagement, right? Being able to play with me, and I take them everywhere just so that just to work on the distraction component of it. Especially with my border whippet. He's my very first border whippet, by the way, and I've had a real challenge trying to train him. I didn't realize they were so difficult. Thank you, Colleen. But it's stuff at home is usually around criteria and commitment and engagement.
For sure. So how often would you say you go to tournaments then?
We try to go to at least one tournament a week. There's not a lot of tournaments here in Northern California, so I actually do quite a lot of travel. Camden, I'm lucky, right? Because I have two height dogs. They're small enough that I can take them with me, either inside the cabin or I can check one and take one inside the cabin. But we go to a lot of tournaments. If there aren't any up here in Northern California, we go to Arizona because I run with Crazy Train, and they've been nice enough to allow my team to kind of integrate with their team to run with them. And then I also fly up to Alaska to run with Holly and with Curtis and the teams up there because I love the folks up there. They're the most amazing people. It's not a very big tournament. You know, you would think, oh, you're going all the way up to Alaska because it's a giant tournament. But honestly, it's a small tournament, but I always have so much fun because of the people. Like you can just tell they love flyball. Everyone gets involved in setting up the field. Everyone gets involved in breaking down the field. It's the best tournament day because you start at 10. Like, what? And then you have like an hour lunch break, and then you finish at like 3. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's so much fun, and they love their dogs, and I just love going up there. It's fun.
That's awesome. So what's the farthest you've been? Would that be Alaska?
I think it's actually further to go to Can-Am.
Okay.
That's about a 30-hour drive for us. But I've flown the last few times that we've gone. Championships, it's like that much closer. So I think those two tournaments are probably the furthest ones for us. We were scheduled to go to Belgium, Crazy Train, and Camden was lucky enough to be picked to go with them as a high dog. So that would have been the furthest tournament. But so I guess that would be 2021. They just moved that date.
For sure. So is that the one place that you would love to go in the world, or is there still somewhere else that you would love to go as well?
So when I first started watching all these videos on Flyball, I really wanted to go to Germany just because all of these Flyball tournaments that they post. Have you ever watched the German Flyball runs? They have like this. They have this tent in the middle, so your dog runs through a tent and then to the box, and then go. I was like, oh, I really want to run my dog through that. It's almost like a Disneyland ride. So I'd love to go to Germany. I'd love to go to Australia because I lived in Australia for a little while. I lived in Sydney, but I never got to play flyball there. So it would be kind of a complete circle to like go back, bring my dogs, and play flyball there.
That would be awesome for sure. Now, would the Alaska tournament be your favorite tournament that you go to besides any of the championships?
Yes. And you know what? I think it's one of my favorite tournaments simply because the love for flyball and the folks there, it's still very genuine. Like they're all very open to competition, but at the same time, they really support each other. And I love that. I love that about the flyball community. And so when I can actually see it, in practice, it makes me really happy, and that's why I love going up there.
For sure, that's cool. Do you have something that you take to a tournament that you would consider, or somebody else would consider, weird?
Because I travel so much, I actually take very little things to a tournament, which might be surprising, but I have forgotten a lot of things at a flyball tournament, which is more interesting. Like one time I traveled to a tournament in Arizona and I forgot underwear. The last time I went to Alaska, I forgot shorts. I had like one pair of pants and like nothing else to compete in. It was a pair of jeans. I went to a tournament where I didn't have any shoes because I went straight from the office, so I had dress shoes. So I would have to go and buy these things and then bring it back home. So yeah, I've forgotten more things than I have bringing.
That's fair. That's a good twist on it. That's it. I like that. Now, is there a dog that you preferred running over any of the other dogs, whether it's your own or somebody else's?
Oh, that's a tough one. So I love all my dogs equally. Is that politically correct?
Yes.
But the one dog I have is my Staffy Jack. Her name's Camden, and she's incredible. I mean, she's at the point now where she's just point and shoot. I can pass her really tightly. I can I mean, she's like a tiny little dog that sets 7 inches, and I can run her from 47 feet, and she runs, in the low fours. So she's also very loud, and that makes it interesting as well.
That's awesome. Now, do you prefer starting or passing?
I actually can do all of it. I always train my dogs so that they don't have to be in any particular order, and that's really important, especially if you want to play with other teams, right?
Yeah.
So I don't mind starting, but I really like the adrenaline of passing.
For sure.
I love being able to pass really tight. I think there was this one tournament just a few months ago before this COVID thing happened, and I remember Dave came back and he was like, "You're like 2 inches, just stay right where you are." And I was like, "Ooh, 2 inches." And then like the next race, it was like, "Man," he was like, "I told you to stay where you are." But I mean, it was like a 0 pass, right? And I was like, "Yeah, wasn't that good?" He was like, "But you're supposed to listen to me and stay where you are." I was like, so yeah, I love passing. It's kind of fun.
That's awesome. Now, is there a team or a person out there that you love racing against more than anyone else?
I think when you can race with a team that really pushes your team, that's always really fun.
Yep.
That's when your time matches, that's always a lot of fun because you're trying to see what you can do to kind of get that millisecond to kind of pull out the win. Is there a team that I love racing against? I honestly, this is kind of a crop out answer. I honestly don't notice the other team at all when we're racing.
That's fine. I've had that answer a couple times.
Yeah, because I'm kind of like, okay, I know what we have to get in order to win, so I'm gonna focus on our team and our time. And I kind of zone out because I'm so focused on making sure that I watch the dog in front of me that I'm not really paying attention until the very end, and then I'm like, what happened? Because I'm still not watching, right? So yeah, that's a crop out answer. Sorry.
That's fine. Now, is there a team out there that you would still love to watch that you haven't been able to yet?
So one of the things, I went to championships last year, I guess last season. It was my very first youve championship because I've been to Can-Am and I haven't. It was the first time that they were back to back for me, so we were able to do Can-Am and championships. And it was so cool to watch all of the teams in Division 1 championship because they were all running 14 seconds. And you know what's really interesting is everyone tells me or asks me about the dogs. Like, did you see that dog? And I'm like, you know what? I'm actually watching what's going on in the run back, which is a little weird. I love seeing the dogs, don't get me wrong, but I love seeing what's happening in the run back as well. And because I think I learn a lot watching how people handle their dogs, how they get out of each other's way, how they basically integrate as a team to not run into each other at that pace, right? So I was so impressed with Skid's mark. If you ever watched them in the run back, there's like 600 people back there, but somehow they managed to like all stay out of each other's way. I love the fact that they have one person running the dog and one person watching the dog. So as a handler, if you were running a dog on that team, you never had to do anything but run your dog because the other person who's watching the dog would be like, your dog dropped, you need to rerun your dog, go back. Like, you really don't have to think. And at that pace, it makes sense, right? Because there's so much going on and it's happening so quickly. You need that teamwork. So I love seeing that. I love watching them. I also love watching Rocket Relay simply because I train with or I ask Aaron a lot of questions. He probably hates me for like constantly IMing him, but I love seeing all of the work that he teaches and then how he incorporates that into his own team. Because you can actually see it. So it's like the process that he goes through with his dogs. So that's kind of cool as well.
For sure. All right. Now, what would be one of your earliest memories of Flyball?
One of my earliest memory of Flyball. Actually, Flyball has its ups and downs, right? And I definitely, when I first started Flyball, had my ups and downs. I had a huge Labrador. He was a field Labrador. He's actually like 85 pounds. He's huge. and we could never get him on the box. He was, Labrador's like, oh, what? Oh, I'll just step on the box. Okay, wait, I can catch the ball. I don't know why there's this thing holding the ball together. So I went through several months of just being really depressed because he just didn't get it. But the happy moment was when he did finally get it and we were able to run him, right? And, it was really funny because he ran down, jumped over the jump, did a box turn, caught his ball, he ran back, and my teammates were like, get out of the way, and because I'm still busy like looking at him, I'm like, oh my god, come on Cody, I'm so proud of you, and they're like, get out of the way. So yeah, that's probably one of my most happy moments, and I have that now whenever one of my dogs premiere, right? I'm so happy for them that we put all that hard work together and they're able to kind of put everything together and do it themselves.
For sure. Now, do you have another favorite memory of Flyball, whether it's on or off the racing lanes?
A lot of my memories of Flyball, or fun memories of Flyball, is actually off of the racing lane. I'll tell you a funny story. So there's this one tournament that Megan Legs and I went to where we got kicked out of our hotel because we had too many dogs. I'm sure everyone can relate to that. That's a fun memory. It was kind of funny because we came back from Flyball tournament and like our key wasn't working, and we went down to the front desk and they're like, "Oh, you're not supposed to be here anymore because you have too many dogs." So yeah, that was funny. Seeing us rush to find a lodging at the last minute, but everything worked out. We found a different hotel, ironically across the street. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's a good memory. I like that one. Now, do you have any personal goals playing Flyball?
I have a lot of personal goals. I think in order to really be good at the sport and have fun, you have to constantly set goals for yourself and your team, right? My goals are pretty attainable, though. I'm not like, I have to be the fastest team. Like, I don't have those type of goals. My goals are centered around, what new concept can I learn about Flyball? What can I teach my team members? And because I have a team now, a lot of my goals now center around them. So I'll give you an example. One of my team members had a little Springer Spaniel. It was running like in the 5s. Mm-hmm. And we set a goal for her. We said, hey, look, what if we can improve the time and the striding? Because I saw what was happening, right? I was like, if we worked on striding, we worked on box, we worked on passing, I bet we can get it in the high 4s. What do you think? And the beginning of this year, after 6 months training with us, she hit 4.4. And so those are the type of goals that make me happy, because it's like, oh, see, you can do it. And she was happy too. And but those are the type of goals that I have for the dogs. What can you do to really help your dog move to the next level?
For sure, that's good. So what exactly do you like about playing Flyball?
I like the several things. First and foremost, I like the engagement with my dogs. I love that relationship that I build with my dogs. Secondly, I love all of the people that I meet. The Flyball community is so supportive of new people and people who are willing to ask questions and people who are looking for a way to kind of improve what they're doing, either with their dog training or whether or not they should compete in a specific tournament, or if they want to go to a tournament and there isn't a team for them to run on. I love meeting all of the people and seeing the support. So having that community is really important. I love that about Flyball.
That's awesome. Now, do you have anyone that you look up to as a mentor in Flyball, whether it was when you first started or continuing to this day?
I think, obviously, we can't go through talking Flyball without talking about some of the great trainers, right? Definitely Aaron Robbins helped a lot. I talked about Cooper, right? He was a little crazy, and I went to a seminar with Aaron, and that kind of like the light bulb went on, and that's when I started thinking, oh, there are different ways of training, and different methods, and I can actually work through some of his ball obsession. Obviously, Carlene, and lately I've been kind of syncing with Joe Lamont to really kind of see what he's doing over there and trying to see if we can translate some of those methodologies to our training for our team as well. So yeah.
Lots of good trainers out there, and there's always going to be something that someone can teach you.
Yep, I agree.
All right. Now, do you have any hobbies outside of playing flyball?
Flyball does take up a lot of my time, but I do. We are flipping houses, my partner and I. So it's always a lot of fun. It keeps us from obsessing with flyball. So then I obsess with architecture and where to put the bathroom and what kind of tiles to pick and what kind of cement color the driveway should be. So that's one. And then the other one I have is I do a lot of running. So I'm scheduled to run the Marine Corps Marathon this October. And every year we try, or every other year, we try to do the Disney World Marathon. That's really fun. Where you run through all of the parks at Disney World, and they have characters, and you get to meet Mickey Mouse, and yeah, it's kind of childish, but it's also a lot of fun.
For someone that's never been, that's probably amazing. I would love to do that. All right, well, thanks, Alex, so much. I don't think I have anything else that I need from you other than if you could challenge somebody to do an interview with me. Do you have anyone in mind?
I do. I actually have two people. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, the first person is Megan Langs. She's the captain or co-captain of Crazy Train in Arizona. And I think you need to interview more people on the West Coast here in the United States.
I sure do.
To get representation. The second person is you. I think we should interview you because I did not see an interview with Alex at all. So yeah, I'm happy to interview you.
That Joe did one with me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. But it wasn't but I don't know. I don't know about that. We might have to do another one.
Okay. You let me know when, and I will figure out a time. We can do that for sure.
Okay, cool.
All right, Alex. Well, thanks again so much for taking time out of your day to be here. It's been amazing getting to meet you, and hopefully we'll see each other on the racing lanes real soon. Awesome. Thanks again, Alex. It's been great getting to meet you, and hopefully we'll see each other real soon. Other than that, guys, hopefully if you guys are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell as well, just to make sure you get all the latest videos. If you'd like, you can check out my Instagram page as well. I'll leave a link in that below. And also, if you guys would like some more information just on flyball, check out the links in the description below. If you would like some information on all of Alex's crazy teams, make sure you check out the links in the description below. Until next time, guys, see you then.